Hello there everybody, it's Jacob from Storyhouse here and I am so excited to bring you this week's video all about spring. But I have a little bit of a problem. You might have noticed that I'm missing Cosmo. What am I going to do without him? I can't do it all alone. Shall we go and see if we can find him? Come on. Cosmo! Cosmo, where are you? Cos? I swear I can hear him. Cosmo! There you are! What are you doing hiding in the washing basket? Come on, we've got a video to make. Let's get going! Now I've finally found Cosmo, we can get on with telling you all about spring. Spring is one of the 4 seasons. The others are autumn, winter and summer. Now, spring is the symbol of rebirth. And when it is spring in the northern hemisphere, it means it's usually autumn in the southern hemisphere. The northern hemisphere is north of the equator, where we are, and the southern hemisphere is south of the equator, where Australia is, for example. Now, spring typically begins at the end of March and brings longer and warmer days. Many animals like cows and ducks and birds have their babies in spring. In springtime, around about April, there will be lots and lots of rainfall. But don't worry, that leads to beautiful flowers blossoming not long after. Oh Cosmo, that wintry weather is miserable. I can't wait for spring. I'm hoping that the sun will be out more. And I love looking at the plants and the trees that blossom and the vegetables and fruits that grow. Oh, I can't wait! Although, as I say, at least all this rain should be pretty handy for all the things that grow outside. Now I know we get a lot of our produce here in the UK, but not absolutely everything. I wonder where else it comes from. Now we've heard that lots of our plants and fruits and vegetables come from Holland, or the Netherlands as it's known, and I'm intrigued because I'm going to check something in here. A cucumber. Yeah, product of Holland. Amazing. I didn't know that. I wonder what else comes from Holland. Okay, Detective Cosmo, get your magnifying glass out. I need you to do some research on Holland. And there's a cod treat in it for you.
A cod treat? I'll get right to it. Detective Cosmo reporting for duty. I've been doing my research all about Holland. Holland is also known as the Netherlands, but that's nothing to do with Peter Pan. The capital and largest city in the Netherlands is Amsterdam. Other major cities include Rotterdam, The Hague, Eindhoven, and Utrecht. Around 20% of the Netherlands is located below sea level. Holland borders Belgium and Germany. The population of the Netherlands in 2013 was estimated to be around 17 million people. The main language in Holland is Dutch, but the majority of Dutch people can speak more than one language. The Netherlands is part of the European Union and uses the euro as its currency. Many of the world's tomatoes, cucumbers and flowers are exported from there. Dutch drivers use the right-hand side of the road, which is the opposite of how we drive in the UK. Vincent van Gogh is perhaps the most famous Dutch painter, and this is one of his self-portraits. Here's my self-portrait. Do you get it? Holland is also famous for its windmills. It has over 1,000. Historically, windmills in Holland served many purposes. The most important was pumping water out of the lowlands and back into the rivers beyond the dikes, so that the land could be farmed. Today, the Dutch have restored many of the historic sites and they are very proud of their windmills. In fact, once a year, Holland holds National Mill Day to celebrate all things windmill. Finally, it wouldn't be right if we didn't mention tulips. The shape of the tulips are what gave them their name, originating from the Persian word delband, meaning turban. Tulips are known for their bold colours and beautiful shape, and most varieties are almost perfectly symmetrical. Like many other flowers, tulips are edible. In fact, during World War II, tulips and tulip breads were often eaten by those who couldn't afford other foods. The flowers can be used to replace onions in many recipes and are even used to make wines. The Netherlands are the largest producer and exporter of tulips worldwide, growing and exporting nearly 3 billion bulbs each year. At one point in history, tulips were the most expensive flower. In fact, in the 1600s, the flowers were more valuable than most people's homes and cost almost 10 times what an average working class person earned in a year. Unfortunately, tulips are toxic for cats, and so I can't go near them. Oh well, at least I can look at them in pictures.
Okay, everybody, whilst Cosmo is fast asleep, I think I could make him a present. What if we created him a tulip that wasn't toxic? A tulip that he could have fun with and play around with? What do you reckon? Should we give it a go? Okay, keep it quiet. Shh, shh, shh. We don't want to wake him up. Okay, everybody, here comes our craft activity, and I'm really excited to make Cosmo his very own tulip. Now, I'm going to give mine to Cos, but you could choose to keep yours for yourself by all means. Or maybe you could gift it to somebody else in your household or at school. Who knows? It's up to you. Here we go. Okay then, everybody, here's what you're going to need to make your paper tulip. The first thing we're going to be using is this, our red piece of paper, and then we'll move on to using that later on, our green piece of paper. Let's keep that safe for the moment because firstly, we're going to be working with this. Now you might notice that I've actually been practicing a little bit with it, so it's a little bit untidy, but don't worry, they are the right folds. So, first thing, we need to fold it over like this, and we're trying to keep it as neatly as we can. Can you see? I'm just going to share that out a little bit to get rid of my creases. Okay, so there we go. That is our triangle, our red triangle. Now, we are actually going to open that up and repeat. Okay, we'll do it on the other side. Now, you don't need to do this. It's not absolutely imperative. It isn't completely necessary. But it makes it look a little bit nice at the end. You'll see what I mean later on. Okay, then. So, we should now have our triangle. Okay? And we simply need to grab this and fold it up a little bit like that. Can you see? And then, we'll do this on the other side too. Okie dokie. What about that then? We're getting there, aren't we? Okay, so now you need to turn it over like that. And then fold inside these bits here. Can you see this? Ooh, yeah. Let's fold that side in there, like that. And then we fold this side in here as well to match it. Okie dokie. Wonderful. How very nice indeed. And we also need to do the very bottom bit as well, okay? So let's do it. Hey. Fabulous. Okay, we're getting there, aren't we? Let's turn that around. Ooh, yeah, looking like a beautiful tulip. Okay, let's then move on to our stem. You're going to need your green piece of paper. So we'll get your green piece, and then what we will do first is fold it in half. Okie dokie. Again, as we can, we try our best to keep it neat. Okay, try our best to keep it neat, get it corner to corner, and we'll make a triangle like that. How very exciting. Okie dokie. Now at the moment, if we put that there, it doesn't really look like a tulip, does it? No. So there's more to be done. Let's open it out. And what we need to do is grab this edge here and fold it into this circle. Fold it into the circle? Well, that doesn't make any sense at all. Sorry, I think I meant fold it into the middle. That makes more sense, doesn't it? Anyway, on with the video. It's gonna start to get a little bit like a kite. Can you see? Okie dokie. So that's one half, and we do the same on the other side. And when we bring this side into the middle, it's going to look very much like a kite. But we aren't going to be flying a kite, unfortunately, as fun as that may be. We are going to be making our tulip stem. So, okay, have you got your kite? Perhaps you're doing it along with me. Perhaps you're watching it first and you'll do so later. Either way is absolutely fine. But at this point, we have got our kite. Looking like a tulip? Maybe a little bit closer, but but not quite, no. So what we're going to do is turn it around and do something very similar with our kite as we did previously, but with the bit at the top here, and straighten that. Put a straight line in the middle, so there'll be a diagonal on the side there. Can you see? Again, it's important that we try to keep it as neat as possible. Okie dokie. Then we repeat that process on the other side. We do it again, but this time on the other side, and fold that down the middle as neatly as we possibly can. Okie dokie. We're getting there, aren't we? We're getting there. It looks a little bit like a diamond at the moment. Not perfect, but still, let's keep going. Okay, we turn it around and bring it in again. Okie dokie. It's getting a little bit more fiddly at this stage because we need to fold as neatly as we possibly can because the card or the paper is getting a little bit harder to work with. So let's do this very carefully. Try and keep it neat as we say. Okie dokie. That's nice there. And then we'll go in on this side as well. Like this. As I say, it is getting a little bit more fiddly. There's a tiny little rip at the bottom of mine, but I think it'll be okay as long as I'm really delicate from now on. I wasn't delicate enough before, clearly. Okie dokie. Here we go. We're getting there. We're getting there, aren't we? Nearly. Kind of. No, not yet. Okay. The final process, or at least very close to the final process, is grabbing this at the top. Okay, okay. Now we have the long, thin stem. The thin bit needs to go all the way to the top. Okay, okay. He's going to meet that other tip up here, and then you can fold that bit at the bottom. Okay, okay. Lovely, lovely stuff. Then fold there in the middle. Okay, fold there in the middle, and look, it's starting to look very much like a stem here. And that bit, this bit on the side, can be brought out a little bit more, like this, to be our flower. Oh, look at that. It kind of looks a little bit like an origami bird, but it isn't. It is the stem of our flower. Look at that. So they meet together. Now, you can either choose to stick that together, but another way of doing it, if you're very delicate and you might need an adult to help you do so, is to snip a tiny bit off here. Okay, okay, snip a tiny little bit off here. Now if I snip that there, ooh, look at that, I can actually slide it in here like this. I'm being very careful, and look, it's now attached. Aha! How very lovely indeed. Now sticking it together is another option as well, and of course if you're going to use scissors you must do so very carefully. But look, there is our paper tulip. I wonder if it stands up. Should we give it a try? Oh! Nearly. Let's try again. I think we might be able to crack it. Oh! Ladies, gentlemen, boys, girls, chicken, cats, dogs and badgers, I give you the world's most beautiful, freestanding, gorgeous tulip. How very nice indeed. Okie dokie. So, I hope you have loads of fun creating yours. Here you go, Cosmo. Your very own non-toxic tulip. What do you think? That is for you.
Thanks, Jacob. I love it.
Okay, everybody, that brings this week's video to an end. Me and Cosmo hope you really enjoyed making your origami tulip. I'm sure it looks fantastic. Cosmo is off to make his own, but we are very much looking forward to seeing you again very soon. Thank you very much, and goodbye.